Hey there, Lumberjacks fans. Scott Bradford alongside the newest Lumberjack, newly tendered Carson Rehkopf from Utopia, Ontario. Carson, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Carson, obviously, I think fans are very excited to learn more about you and get a handle on who you are as a player. Can you kind of introduce yourself to Lumberjacks fans and describe your game and who you are?
I think I'm a very electric player. I love to play. I love to score goals. Love to make plays. I love to make my teammates better. I love the energy of the game. I love playing hockey. I like everything about it. I feel like when I'm on the ice, I'm going to be giving my 100%, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win.
One thing that stood out to me when I talked with general manager Jimmy McGroarty and the president of hockey operations Steve Lowe, they talked about how good you are as a person and your level of competitiveness really stood out to them. Has that competitive attitude been something that you've had your whole life?
Yeah, I would say since I started hockey. Sometimes it's not that good because school and stuff like that. I want to win everything. Sometimes it gets a bit out of hand, but it has its pros and cons. But I feel like it's helped me get pretty far. I especially in the USHL, you have fans watching. You never want to upset the fans. You always want to do your best to win. I feel like I can do that.
When you look at the numbers, you're a very high scoring player, and it's unfortunate that you haven't been able to play this year because of COVID-19. I think the numbers would have been even better, but 2 points per game last year playing for the Toronto Junior Canadiens, and I think the numbers speak for themselves. But at 6'3", almost 190 pounds, and you're just 16 years old, would you consider yourself a high scoring power forward? Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate.
And when you look at some of the players in the NHL right now that kind of fit that mold, do you have maybe not a role model, but someone that you can kind of compare yourself to or that you idolize at the NHL level?
I like I like a lot of players obviously, but I like to take a couple things from different people's games. Like I like watching Barkov because I feel like he has a lot of good things that go unnoticed as being a big centerman, very skilled. I like other things from Pedersen's game. I I can name about 10 players that I like to watch and just take stuff from each games. I don't model myself after I would say one player. I feel like I take a lot of things from different people.
It's newly tendered Lumberjack Carson Rehkopf here, and I think that it may have come as somewhat of a surprise to some Canadian hockey fans that you decide to go the USHL route. You're a highly touted player in Ontario, and I think most people expected you to be drafted quite high in the OHL draft. Why did you decide to sign the tender agreement and with Muskegon and play in the USHL instead?
I felt that the program Muskegon gave me really everything I wanted and everything I was looking for in a team. I feel like I had a couple of talks to them, and I feel like they really checked off everything on my wish list to play junior hockey. With the fans, the community, the players, the facilities. I feel like everything that I looked for, they outdid it. And I feel like the having the advantage of getting such a good opportunity at such a young age is something I couldn't pass up. And also like the university route, I feel like I've always been attracted to that. And it's always just I've always had an eye on the USHL, but coming to this year, I didn't really know too much about it. But getting educated on it really opened my eye about it.
What was the biggest thing that you learned about the USHL that helped you make that decision to come and play in this league?
I would say probably the amount of options you have after your 2 years or the other years you play. I feel like that really gave me a good understanding of how good the league is and how many more benefits I guess you can say you get out of it.
I'm sure it doesn't hurt knowing that players like Andrei Svechnikov and now Daniil Gushin have been drafted in the NHL after playing in Muskegon. Did that play a factor in your decision as well?
For sure. I grew up in Barrie, so I watched Pesnikov when he played here in Barrie, and obviously he was a second overall pick, so he was pretty good. And I remember watching him some of his highlights before he came in, and I always had an eye. And then I've talked to Jimmy before, and he's told me a lot about it, so I feel like that really got my eye on it.
Again, you grew up in Ontario, and when we were talking just the other day, you said really growing up, the OHL was the league that you followed, that you were a fan of, and that was kind of the only route you knew. But in the last few years, do you really feel like that is dramatically changing with more and more Canadian players entertaining, or not just entertaining the college route, but now actually playing at the NCAA level?
For sure. I feel like it's in the last couple of years, it's obviously gone a long way. You see a lot of people going that route, and I feel like it's opening a lot of eyes. Like last year, Adam Fantilli, I'm close to him. I've trained with him a whole bunch, and him going there, I think, opened up a lot of eyes and seeing how good that league was. And I feel like a lot of people are starting to notice.
Yeah, no doubt. It's it's scary playing against him. That's for sure. Adam's a very talented player in Chicago, and it's going to be exciting to watch the two of you play against one another. Is that something that you're really looking forward to? Especially, he's a late birthday, so you guys are the same draft.
I feel like that'll be fun. That'll be cool.
Well, all right, Carson. I really appreciate the time, and it's good to get to meet you, and we're all really looking forward to having you in Muskegon.
Thank you for having me.